So the distributive property states that A times B plus C equals A times B plus A times C. So by the title of the property, you know that what you're doing is you're distributing the first term on the outside to each term inside parentheses. So you're looking at that A, and you're going to distribute that to that B and that C. So let's look at an example. Now, if I have 3 times x plus 2, what I'm going to do is I am going to distribute that 3 to the x and then add that 3 times the 2. So I'm going to do 3 times x plus 3 times 2. And then I'm going to simplify to 3x plus 6. Another example with just numbers. Now, keep in mind that if you had just numbers, so for example, 2 times 1 plus 3, you could just add the numbers on the inside of the parentheses to get 4, and you would have 2 times 4, which equals 8. However, for the purposes of this short video, what I want you to see is that if I distribute that 2 to the 1 and then distribute that 2 to the 3, you would get the same answer. So you would do 2 times 1 plus 2 times 3, and you would get 2 plus 6, which is 8. Now, what I'm going to do now is I am going to show you one where this in the middle right here, instead of an addition, is a subtraction, and it's still the distributive property. Now for this example, what you're going to have is 4 times x minus 4, and what you're going to do is you're going to distribute that 4 to the x and that 4 to the negative 4. So what you're going to do is you're going to do 4 times x minus 4 times 4, because that symbol, instead of being a plus, is going to be a minus. So that's what that does. So you end up with 4 times x minus 16, so 4x minus 16. And finally, the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make it excuse me, a negative in the front, so that you can see another example, so that I have negative 2 times x minus 1, and that becomes negative 2 times x minus negative 2 times 1. And because this is, so negative 2 times x, that becomes negative 2x. But in this case, you have a negative, excuse me again, times a negative. And remember that if you have two negatives, you get a positive. So this one over here becomes a plus 2. And these are your answers. Over here, the 4x minus 16 and the negative 2x plus 2.